All right. So we have some portal, obviously, discussions of who to watch out for. And we've got a whole bunch of names, but we did want to highlight a few position groups specifically, one being the quarterbacks. And so there's been some smoke about Baylor and Toledo quarterback Dequan Finn, who in 2023 had, pretty decent numbers, Cade level. Cade McNamara level in the completion percentage, 63.4%, 22 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He is, from what we hear, scheduling a Michigan visit, and I really like him. I really like what he showed in the game against Ohio State when he was the Toledo quarterback. He showed some fight. He showed some good decisions with the ball. We can't show the film on this because we'll get demonetized, unfortunately, but people saw it last night on the members only show. So yeah, I think he's got that Michigan like dog. He really does. And I like him. I would love to see him in the quarterback room. Whether he starts or not, or whether he has Alex Orji concepts that are better than Alex Orji, or whatever the case may be, I could see him really playing a role in the offense next year, TJ.
Yeah, so again, I agree. Like, listen, I wish we could play this dude's film right now, because I believe if we played because we watched in the members only meeting yesterday. Yeah, he is from Detroit. He went to Martin Luther King High School. If we played his film, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, really? But this kid's nice. Like, this kid's he does like when you watch him play, it's fucking dog, bro. Like, he plays with so much passion and energy and heart, bro. He plays with so much fight, for real. Now, he's a dual threat quarterback. I'm gonna pull up his numbers here.
From Detroit, also Ryan. Yeah. Thanks, Ryan.
So he has one more year of eligibility. He was previous at Toledo, like John mentioned. He was in Baylor last year, didn't play. But his last season at Toledo, guys, 63.4% completion. Damn, we could have used that this year. 2,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. And here's what's beautiful with that, right? He's not just doing it through the air. He's doing it on the ground. His final season at Toledo, 563 yards, 7 touchdowns. The year before that, 631 yards and 9 touchdowns. Like, this kid can make plays. I like him. I listen. Do I want Mateer, the quarterback from Washington State? Absolutely. We're not getting him. It's between Miami and Oklahoma. It's not going to happen. So let's just get down to reality. I like Dequan Finn more than I like Billy Edwards. Personally, I don't know if those people would disagree with that, but I wasn't that high on Billy Edwards. I think Billy Edwards was okay, and I'm not saying Dequan Finn is like head and shoulders above Billy Edwards. But what I'm saying is I think Dequan Finn with a Bryce Underwood is a fun dynamic, bro. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I'm going to be real with you guys. I think we're going to have, if he can, and so what I'm going to do on this portal segment, guys, I'm going to let you guys know if I feel like Michigan is close here, or if it's just a guy on the radar that Michigan is pushing for, or where we are with it. Dequan Finn is a quarterback that I feel Michigan is pushing very hard for. And currently, I'm leaning he's going to be a Michigan Wolverine. We'll see what happens. The portal is wild. You never know what happens. But right now, I think Dequan Finn is trending Michigan, and I would not be mad about this. I wouldn't. Now, granted, again, I want to just clarify. Yes, I wish we could have got like a Quinn Ewers or
Sure.
I wanted Miller Moss, okay? But he went to Louisville. He was afraid of Bryce Underwood. What are you going to do? That's the reality of this cycle. These kids are afraid to compete with Bryce, man. What are you going to do? Like, you can't force them. I can't force them. It is what it is. Michigan offered a lot of money. Wisconsin offered more money to Billy Edwards. They were willing to offer a good amount of money to Miller Moss. He wants to go to a situation where he doesn't got to look over his freaking shoulder. It is what it is. And if Dequan Finn wants to come here and, at least be the starter and have like some type of, Cade JJ dynamic, I'm all right with it, man. I'm telling you guys right now, like, hey, stick with our show. But after our show, go to Google or YouTube Dequan Finn highlights. I promise you will be mildly surprised and maybe even a little excited about it. I think he's solid as hell, man.
So Jason is talking about the scenario that I think could be a thing, which is that, he's reminding us all of Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence, and how Kelly Bryant started, and then after a game or two went over to Trevor Lawrence. So this could be the same situation here, where Bryce sits and learns for a couple of games.
Yeah, I don't know. I really feel like the reason why, maybe, because if Bryce Underwood literally steps on that field and owns that shit like Trevor Lawrence did, maybe. But to me, it just feels like, Michigan really wants to not force that. And I think Dequan Finn, let me tell you this. I believe if we had Dequan Finn and another, like a legit ass wide receiver and a right tackle, we're in the playoffs. That's what I believe. I think Dequan Finn's actually a solid quarterback. So
I like him.
If we land him, I'm gonna be happy about it, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, all right, I like that. I like it. I do.
Absolutely. So I'm guessing then that listing the Nevada quarterback, Brendan Lewis, that might be more a just in case situation.
So the Nevada quarterback, which I do not remember who it was, but a few of you over the last few weeks has mentioned this name, and I said, listen, I've heard nothing on my end about it, but it is now. So Michigan is at least gauging interest here. We'll see what happens. In my opinion, I think Dequan Finn's the current leader, but Brandon Lewis is at least getting some attention from Michigan. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. I will need to study up a little bit more on Lewis. But I did watch a lot of some Dequan Finn highlights, and I'm definitely down with him coming and however they see fit. Because I trust Chip Lindsey a hell of a lot more than Kirk Campbell to evaluate. And like, I think Chip Lindsey, this is why he was brought in, to help evaluate this talent, to see who's better through spring, through fall. Because clearly the last guy did a terrible job of kind of guesstimating or estimating where they were, saying Davis Warren had 87% completion or whatever, or Alex Orji's doing great and all this other stuff, all this smoke that we heard. Well, I think Chip Lindsey is going to come in and actually is very experienced as an offensive coordinator and very experienced as a quarterbacks coach. And I think he'll be able to evaluate the situation.
I think one of Sharon Moore's biggest mistakes was putting too much trust into Kirk Campbell. And I think he did trust him. And I think because he trusted him and Kirk Campbell thought he could develop these guys, that's how we were put in the position we were put in. So, Chip Lindsey, we'll see what he can do. We do know this. The quarterback room is already a lot better than it was last year. Let's see who else they add to it. I see some people disagree with me. They think Brandon Lewis is better than Dequan Finn. That's okay. I'm a fan of Dequan Finn. I think Brandon Lewis is okay. I'm not mad at Brandon Lewis, but I think Dequan Finn's. I don't know, man. He plays with a fire that I appreciate.
Absolutely. So obviously we got some quarterbacks to look at, but there was some other news before we get to our bunch of names that we like to do our portal roundup. We do have a pretty notable recruit. Zachariah Branch was announced today that he is entering the portal. I don't know what's going on at USC. I don't know what's going on with Lincoln Riley. All of a sudden, these wide receivers are hopping in the portal. But I think Bryce Underwood coming to Michigan is the reason that at least Michigan's foot is in the door. I'm not going to claim that Zachariah Branch is a lock, that he's definitely coming because Louisville's in contention and he could run it back with Miller Moss. But I will say this. I think Bryce Underwood and the NIL situation is the reason Michigan has a foot in the door and is at least in the conversation. And he did have 503 yards and a touchdown in 24. He was really good as a special teams in 23, and could play a special teams role in addition to being in the offense. So I guess what's your initial thought on Zachariah Branch, TJ?
Yeah, I want him. So for those who don't know, Zachariah Branch is one of the fastest players in college football. He runs a 10.3 300 meter. That's stupid. That's not normal. That's rare. There's been some reports that he's running in the mid 20s per hour, which is also stupid and rare. So yes, you add Zachariah Branch to either the Y position, maybe the Z, likely the Y. You have McColley at the X. Give me Branch, put him at the Y. You give me another alpha on the right. Yeah, I think that's exactly, that I think that's yes. And then if we can pull Justice Haynes, who we'll talk about at the running back position, yeah, I'm liking that a lot. I think this would be a very strong addition. Now it appears him and his brother are a package deal. His brother plays safety. We'll see on that. I don't have any update on where Michigan stands on that. But what we do know is this: Michigan is interested in Zachariah Branch. They are pushing to get a visit. We'll see where it goes. This is definitely a recruitment we need to pay attention to. The other schools we got to worry about, though, are Miami, Florida, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Louisville. And Louisville is an interesting one because guess who went to Louisville, John?
Miller Moss. Yeah, I was just mentioning that. Yeah, Miller Moss. And that's why at first when I saw the list of schools, I was like, Louisville. Oh wait, Miller Moss went, so he might want to run it back.
Right. Yep. So we'll see where that goes. So yeah, it's a recruitment I'm definitely excited about. It's new. He just entered the portal literally 3 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's one we're gonna watch and we'll see where it goes.
Yep. But it is exciting, and so we'll be monitoring as we go here. A couple of more super chats have come in. Big House Boy, thank you for the $1.99. Do you think we will land Josh Thompson?
Yeah, so we will get to that.
Yeah.
But he is on my list of players trending to Michigan.
There we go.
And that's as much as I'll say until we get to the offensive line.
Elisha says, I trust Sharon with offensive line transfers. He doesn't miss. And a second one, another back-to-back for Elisha. At least Finn is better than Cade McCheckdown. Yes. Yes. Checkdown Cade, as I call him. And by the way, I think the only reason anybody gives Cade any grief is because of how he acted on the way out. Like, I think I know I was ready to root for him at Iowa alongside Eric All. And I wouldn't be calling him Checkdown Cade, but the way, not calling Michigan, just the way that he's acted, yeah, I'm okay with Cade McCheckdown.
Yeah, and then he's in the portal again.
Yeah.
He's just unfortunately not handled it the best. But it can't be easy, bro. It can't be easy being an athlete and having all that. I don't know. It's not easy to be in their shoes. I'll just be real with you. He's probably he's always been the man. He set all the records. What Nevada was it? Was it Nevada? All those passing records, and it just is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yep. New Life says, check out Braylon Braxton from Marshall. 1,600 yards, 19 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 600 plus rushing yards, and I think 4 touchdowns, 63.8 QBR. That's an interesting. I haven't thought of Braylon Braxton.
Yeah, I've not heard. His name has not been in my radar at all. So something to look at. We'll see if the coaches look at him. But currently, it's Dequan Finn and Brandon Lewis.
And Elisha may be breaking some news for us that Michigan doesn't want Zachariah Branch because he's too much of a good idea and will actually help us. Michigan is more interested in making Davis Warren a wide receiver. Interesting theories here.
It is interesting theories. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully you are wrong, and that proves you wrong.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's a little bit of sarcasm in this one. I'm just a thought. So with that said, let's hit this list of portal potentials. So in addition to quarterback and Zachariah Branch at wide receiver, TJ's kind of got a few names isolated here. Justice Haynes is one that we've been watching for the last maybe week or two. Justice Haynes potentially flipping to Michigan. So I'd love to hear about that one and if there's been any movement.
Yeah, there's been a lot of movement. So Michigan has been pushing for Justice Haynes for a while. This isn't a new development. This is a player that Michigan has contacted before the portal opened.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some agent conversations were happening, bro. And they are looking to get him on campus this weekend for a visit. This is the number 1 running back in the portal. A very good player. He had some pretty good yards. If you go look him up on YouTube, which I wish we could show it, guys, we just can't. He's got some interest, like some awesome runs. He has this one run where he takes the linebacker on head on, freaking just handles his business, and then just keeps going to the end zone. I mean, he's just a very strong runner. This is what we need in the running back room. If we look at our running back room, we have an inexperienced running back. Yes, Jordan Marshall's exciting. Ben Hall shows potential. Micah Kapana could be a very nice player. But the truth of the matter is we have 38 total carries in that room. We need a little bit more assurance in that room. I would love to see Justice Haynes added to the running back room. So we'll see what the boys can do.
Likewise.
Word is he really likes Michigan. Michigan really wants him. Michigan's willing to be aggressive with Justice Haynes. So we'll see what they can do. And remember what I told you guys about, we talked about Derek Meadows. We talked about some other players last week about where players are slotted and Michigan unwilling to overpay for players. Well, they're very high on Justice Haynes, so they're willing to play ball here. So let's be on the lookout for that. The visit this weekend is going to be obviously critical. The next player is Dante Dowdle. So this is a very interesting running back. Word is, and this is via Nebraska insiders, okay, as well as, so I reached out to our boy Justin Adams, John,
nice.
to get some insight on our guy Dante Dotto. But the word is Michigan got him to enter the transfer portal. We'll see. That's what Nebraska believes. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what they believe. They believe Michigan got Dante Dotto to enter the portal. So here's what Justin Adams sent us about what he is. For those who don't know, Justin Adams is the host of our Nebraska Voice of College Football channel. He goes, he's a hard runner. He broke Shiloh Sanders' arm when he trucked him. He doesn't have top end speed and he doesn't make guys miss, but he likes to punish guys. He's really good at times and he won't get you any explosive plays, but he loves making contact and, he does like a lot of like short yardage and goal line stuff. I believe he had 12 touchdowns last year, John. I believe that's what it was. Let me look up real quick. Dante Dotto. Yeah, so he had, let's see. So his stats were 614 yards, 12 touchdowns. I mean, I'm not mad at that. That's good production, right? So this would be your short yardage power back. We'll see. I'm interested on this. I mean, if we get Justice Haynes, I don't think we need another running back, but we'll see what they do. Is this one of those situations where if they strike out on Justice Haynes, they're going to go for Dowdle? I don't know, but it's a name that we should at least be aware of. Michigan is trying to get him to, from my understanding, Michigan is looking to get him to visit as well. Just as a name that we should at least be aware of. And then the next name I want to hit on, John, and I forgot to add this to the sheet, but we did talk about it yesterday on our Monday hangout, and that is Dane Key, the wide receiver from Kentucky. I believe he is currently ranked the number 9 wide receiver in the portal. There is interest from both Dane Key and Michigan. How much interest is to be determined. We'll see if a visit can be set up, but I think it's a wide receiver. This, by the way, so for example, hypothetically speaking, if we can get Zachariah Branch in the slot and you get Dane Key also with McCauley, I'm happy with that wide receiver room. I think that's a good wide receiver room. I would put Dane Key at the Z, you put McCauley at the X, you get Zachariah Branch at the Y, and then you have players like Andrew Marsh to also complement that room. And then, what can Kendrick Bell do? What can Samaj Morgan maybe? Regardless, that's a good room. So we'll see. That's a name to be aware of or on the lookout for. And then this is a big one here. We have Max Claire, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name fully. This is the number 1 tight end in the portal, guys. This is a major target for Michigan. Michigan just had him on campus on Monday, yesterday. So, and by all accounts, it went really well. By all accounts, Michigan did very well in that visit. Here's where we are, though. So he played at Purdue, John. Do you know who the head coach of Louisville is?
Brom.
He's visiting Louisville next. Brom is who recruited Max Clare out of, when he was at Purdue. So there's familiarity there. But is that enough? They just added Miller Moss, so he has a quarterback. That's the thing. So it is my belief, because there's a belief going on right now that he's close. He doesn't want to have a drawn-out transfer portal. So if we'll see how this visit happens with Louisville, but I believe a decision is going to be made shortly. I think Michigan's done a good job. It's all going to come down to how well this Louisville visit goes. But Michigan, as it stands, is in a great position to land the number 1 tight end target out of the portal. And I'll be honest, I think we need it. Like, again, I don't want to rely on too many unproven guys. We went through this last year. We went through a lot of, in some of those positions, whether it be at quarterback, wide receiver, or right tackle, it burned us. It's okay to have some of that, but you don't want a lot of that. So I would love to have Max Clare in the, out of the portal. The next name we're going to hit on is a major name. We already kind of touched on a little bit earlier. This is Josh Thompson. He was the number 2 guard in the Big Ten per PFF. He visited Michigan also on Monday. Michigan's pushing. This is another player, guys, where Michigan is pushing extremely hard. Max Clare, Josh Thompson, Dequan Finn, Justice Haynes. These are all players that I am putting in the list of Michigan is being very aggressive with. And it appears that Josh Thompson actually loves Michigan. He's a Michigan native, guys. I believe he's from the west side of the state. I think it's the west side of the state. But right now, the SEC schools are trying to get him. So the SEC schools we need to be on the lookout for is LSU, Auburn, and Tennessee. They are trying to get Josh Thompson away from us. And we don't want that. We definitely don't want that. And the reason why we don't want that is because I'm going to be honest, this is where one of my concerns are so far in the portal. It's early. There's still 2 more weeks of the portal. We'll see what happens here. But offensive line portal recruiting for me right now, I'm slightly underwhelmed. And the reason why I'm slightly underwhelmed is because there's a lack of targets. Now, if you give me Josh Thompson, okay, I got my left guard. Who's my left tackle? Because I don't know who my left tackle is. We need a left tackle. We don't have a left tackle. And if you want to rock with Evan Link at right tackle, I don't know, because bit of a liability last year, So at right tackle and left tackle, I'm kind of like, I need a left tackle. So that's where my concern is. It's still early. We'll see. I'm sure the boys got a plan. There is, again, 2 weeks left. Make a phone call. Get a player in the portal. Like, players can get into the portal all the way to, let's see, I think it is December 29th. I believe it's the 29th. If it's not the 29th, it's like the 30th or something. Actually, I think it's the 31st. I think it's the 31st now that I look. It's 2 weeks from today, I believe. So, and you can still add players after the portal closes, but players cannot enter the portal. Be on the lookout for that. The next name, Keyshawn Silver. This is a big player. This is a big-time player that Michigan's trying to get right now. He also visited Michigan, and things went well. This would be your nose tackle, right? So if we look at the depth chart for Michigan, and I promise I'll have this thing up for you guys soon. Like we talked about, we got Jayshon Barham at the Sam. We got Derek Moore at the rush end. We got Rayshon Benny at the 3-tech defensive tackle. Who's our 0-tech? Well, it could be Keyshawn Silver. Michigan's pushing very hard here for Keyshawn Silver. They like him. I think it's trending Michigan right now. But here's the thing. This is portal. This is recruiting. He's on a visit with Miami. Miami does not F around. So we'll see what goes on here. Depending on how this Miami visit goes, I feel confident in saying will determine the outcome of Keyshawn Silver. Michigan has done well, but Miami is Miami. And, Ruiz, the head freaking NIL guy they got, not the head, but the head donor they got over there, he could wake up tomorrow and say, I'm buying me a nose tackle today. So that's kind of how things work there. We'll see where it goes. The other player we slightly talked about is that Alabama Is my mic fucking up, John?
It's kind of intermittent. Yeah, I've been
all right.
in private chat.
How about this, John? Hold the chat, and I'll be right back. All right.
Okay. I'll read the super chats up to now. Okay. So let's go to Moose. TJ and John, per Pete Nikos of On 3. Apparently, Branch has Michigan, Florida, Miami, Oklahoma, and Georgia on his top 5, and Louisville is out. Okay, interesting, because I saw Louisville was listed in the 5 before. So thank you, Moose, for letting us know that. Throwing the 5 here. Nick, TJ, I've never seen a man's mic take so many L's. So he is working on the mic situation, which is why I'm reading super chats at the moment. And he will be coming back here shortly. And how about Ryan Hall? Gifting not 1, not 2, but cinco Voice of College Football Michigan memberships. So Ryan has been gifting them today. And here they are. Zachary Polson, Algorithm DG, Jason H, Sergeant Blue with a 3, and Murphy McKinnon. So all 5 of you have Those Who Stay Will Be Champions memberships. That means all of you get the emojis. That means that all of you, so refresh if you're one of those 5 people so you can get the emojis. We got a whole bunch. We've got the Ohio score. We've got the Queen Jolene Ellison. We've got the King Portnoy one. We've got Smash. We've got Go Blue. We've got the M. There's many emojis that you guys can check out. So thank you, Ryan Hall, for those 5 gifts. And looks like we got TJ back in the saddle.
All right. Let me know if my mic fucks up.
Okay.
Because I might have to buy a new preamp, which would piss me off. That would piss me off, but it is what it is. All right. Where was I? Damon Payne, right? So now we are talking about the Alabama defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
This is the former 5-star out of Michigan, Belleville High School player. This is another hometown kid. This is another player who has the Crowell connection. Crowell, believe it or not, a lot of people thought he hated Michigan. No, he didn't hate Michigan. He just hated John Harbaugh. He actually likes Michigan. He's trying to push players to Michigan, just like we saw with obviously Bryce Underwood, but also the other one. What was the other one? Shoots. The other kid from Belleville. Why am I forgetting right now?
I'm blanking too, but I know who you're talking about. God damn it.
I think it starts with an E. I got it right here.
We're gonna get a chat. Somebody's gonna have it in like 2 seconds.
Elijah Dotson.
That's it.
Elijah Dotson. Yeah. Anyways.
Dotson. Yes, obviously.
Yeah, Dotson. So this is another one, guys, and apparently there's mutual interest here. Apparently this would be 3 tech depth. This player would play behind Rayshon Benny. So this is another player that I am adding to I think is trending in a good direction to Michigan. So that puts our trending in a good direction. And we're not done, guys. That puts trending in a good direction to Michigan to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So right now we're at 6. And then the next player we're going to hit on is Javier Suggs. This is a defensive tackle. I believe he also is a 3-tech defensive tackle, plays for LSU, he's also a hometown kid, Flint native. He was at Grand Valley for a few years. Then he transferred to LSU. He's back in the portal. We'll see. In my opinion, and I could be wrong here, we'll see. I think if they strike out on Damon Payne, which I think is trending Michigan, then I think they will go for Suggs more aggressively. I do not anticipate they're going to add 2, 3 techs, especially because Suggs he has just 1 year of eligibility. Why would you do that? I don't know. So we'll see on that. That's just a name to be aware of. Michigan does have interest, and there is discussions happening there. The next player we're going to talk about is a linebacker. This is Troy Bowles. And you may be asking yourself, all right, Bowles, familiar name. How do I know that name? Well, he is the son of Todd Bowles, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he obviously has great IQ. He's been taught the game from youth, been around the game from youth. So he's for those who don't know, he entered the transfer portal from Georgia. There appears to be interest on Michigan's end. There is familiarity with him with Brian Jean-Marie when Brian Jean-Marie was at Tennessee. That's why there's that mutual interest. Plus, Bowles actually had interest in Michigan prior to committing to Georgia. Interesting player. The reason why it's interesting is now with the Jay Sean Barnum news. Well, Bowles might be able to fill that will linebacker position. So we'll see there. Just a name that we do need to be aware of. The next name, John, I really, really want Takaro Davis. I really, really want Takaro Davis, bro.
He would be a good pick.
He's the number one corner in the portal. Number one cornerback in the portal. Michigan is in contact with Takaro Davis, but no visit has been set. If they could set a visit with Takaro Davis, I'm gonna be just through the roof. Because if you give me Takaro Davis, he's a 6'4" corner, guys.
Yeah.
The number one corner in the transfer portal. You put him next to Jair Hill.
Yep. 28
Rod
solo
Moore.
tackles, 15 assists. Pretty solid.
Yeah, dude. You put him in that backfield with Rod Moore, TJ Metcalf, and then you have players like Brandon Hillman, Zeke Berry, and then you have up-and-comers like Josiah Edmond. Yes, please, bro. Yes. I need that. I need that in my life. The other player, this is interesting as hell, Cam Calhoun. If you guys remember Cam Calhoun, and it looks like our boy Moose remembers Cam Calhoun.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so I was reading Juju's comment. No, I didn't see that post, Juju. Cameron Calhoun was formerly committed to Michigan. This is a kid who is from Ohio, committed to Michigan after Michigan beat Ohio State, like we always do. It's like a yearly tradition now.
Yep.
It really is. It really is. My favorite time of year, out next to Christmas.
But, yeah, watching Rich Eisen gloat is now a holiday tradition. To gloat about like the first show he does right after Michigan beats Ohio. It's a must watch. Always fun.
Yeah, so Cam Calhoun transferred to Utah. Had a hell of a year, bro. Excellent year at Utah. Started, played a bunch. PFF grades are fantastic. Michigan has interest in Cam Calhoun. We'll see what goes on there. It's still kind of new in the process. If Michigan can schedule a visit, which we all know he knows Michigan better than anyone, he played here. We'll see where it goes, but it does appear that Michigan's going to be pushing for a visit. I believe they're trying to push for one this week. We'll see. I don't know if anything's been confirmed yet on that. But if we were to get Cam Calhoun, I'll be honest with you, I would love to have Jair Hill and Cam Calhoun. Give me Takaro Davis, but I can't get Takaro Davis. Give me Cam Calhoun. And then the other cornerback we have here is Takaro Davis's teammate, Emmanuel Carnley. This is another big, tall cornerback with length. He is 6'3". I'm not as high on him as I am the other two. And to be honest with you, one of my other favorite cornerbacks in the portal is Terrion Grant. But I don't have an update on Terrion Grant. I'm hoping something changes there. I'm hoping Michigan makes a move there. But Emmanuel Carnley, I would list as my fourth portal option at corner. But he's going to be visiting Michigan this weekend. That is already in process. So we'll see what happens there. I will do a little bit more research on that. But, I'm not as high on him as I am the others. But that said, when we look at all of the portal additions, and we do have another, we're going to talk Zahir Mathis in a minute. But when we look at all these portal additions or all these portal prospects, targets, I think Michigan's this is a much better update, John, than last week's. Last week's update was like crickets. We didn't have a lot. This week's update is far better. Michigan's starting to push, starting to get aggressive. I think they're starting to find the market and where they can play. But now it comes down to landing guys. And so far, they've landed 3 guys in the portal. As I've said before, guys, I think it's going to be a 12 to 18 portal class. Or 12 to 20. We'll see what the boys can do. And then the last thing we'll hit on here, John, this is a big one. Zahir Mathis, the number 6 edge in the 2025 class that Michigan is trying to close along with Ty Haywood. And by the way, I've done the calculations. If Michigan were to land Zahir Mathis and Ty Haywood, that would give Michigan the number 6 class and only 5 points behind Ohio State. You're right. It was 4. I count 22. You're correct. I forgot about Norton. But point being is Michigan could very well be on the verge of a top 5 class with these additions. Zaire Mathis, guys, is going to be visiting Michigan January 10th. Mark your calendars. Mark your calendars. And if you don't mark your calendars, watch our show. We'll remind you. Don't worry. We got you. So that is the recruiting portal update. I think this is a far better vibe than it was last week. I'm pretty happy about it. There's still work to do. Michigan's got to close here. We'll see what the boys can do.